Hello YouTube, this is Detroit Borg, and in this video we're going to take a look at the Apple Magic Trackpad. Now you've already seen me do an unboxing and demo of the trackpad, and you can see that in a link at the end of this video. In this video we're just going to do a review. I've had this for about a week and I can give you my general impression and whether I recommend this or not. Now I'm just going to go over some of the pros. For me, one of the big advantages of the trackpad is the fact it doesn't take up a lot of space. So normally this is a spot I had reserved for my Magic Mouse, and unfortunately it's not a lot of space. And particularly because I'm using a 27-inch iMac, I have to toss this around a lot to get the cursor across the screen. But in this case, all I have to do is keep swiping. And the acceleration software seems to be a lot better with the Magic Trackpad. With the Magic Mouse, I kind of have to toss this around and it ends up banging into the keyboard or the edge of the desk. So for that, the small footprint, it's a big plus. Another function of the trackpad I'm particularly impressed with is the fact that you no longer have to click to make a selection. So if you enable tap to touch in your system settings, there's no clicking, you just tap. And to me that's a much smoother, more pleasant operation than clicking on the mouse. And unfortunately I have to say that the Magic Mouse doesn't have a very nice clicking feel to it. It has a lot more travel than I would like, and it requires a little more force, so it's not as delicate as I would like. With a trackpad, it's very precise, very smooth, and it's just like using a touch screen instead of a keyboard. The trackpad also feels nice to use. It's a very smooth glass. It's not like a lot of very smooth trackpads on some other PC desktops where it's really smooth plastic and your finger kind of sticks to it. This is always a nice consistent material, so there's very little friction when you run your fingers across it. So it's very precise and pleasant to use. The hallmark feature of the Magic Trackpad is the multi-touch gesturing, which is one reason to actually get the MacBook over any other computer. So it's nice to have that functionality on a desktop Mac. Unfortunately, there are some cons to using the trackpad, and that's ergonomics. It's very difficult to hold your fingers in the air for long periods of time because you can't rest your fingers on the trackpad. It's so large. So you kind of have to float your fingers in the air, and over time this can get fatiguing. You can also end up with unintentional taps. So if you just brush your fingers or one of your fingers accidentally touches the trackpad, you can accidentally make a selection. That's happened to me quite a few times lately. And of course, with any trackpad, dragging and dropping and selecting can be difficult because you have to do all of that using the touch and hold features, and that can be clumsy. It's a lot easier to use a mouse because you have more control over your selections. Now, because dragging, dropping, selecting, and doing precision work with the trackpad can be fatiguing, it's not very useful for iMovie or Final Cut Pro, where video editing requires you to use all those features a lot. So every time I edit my video, I have to put this away and bring out the Magic Mouse. In conclusion, I do like the Magic Trackpad better than the Magic Mouse for day-to-day operations, but when it comes to precise editing, for example in iMovie, Final Cut Pro, Photoshop, I do not prefer to use this. I prefer to use a mouse. So unfortunately this hasn't been a complete replacement for the mouse. It's just an addition to my desktop system. I do like this better because of the multi-touch gesturing. It is a much more pleasant interface than a mouse, at least in my opinion, because there's no clicking and I don't have to toss the mouse around, so I can make better use of my limited space on my desk. So would I recommend the Magic Trackpad? I would say yes for most people. Unless you're doing video editing or gaming, the Magic Trackpad I think is perfect for most people. So for example, if you bought a MacBook, you always have the trackpad with you, and when you're using it, you like it, but there's certain things it's not great for, and that's true of all trackpads. So that's when you bring a mouse with you. So I think that's a behavior a lot of people are used to, and I think it works on a desktop as well. But generally, I can't recommend this as a mouse replacement for most desktops. So once again, guys, this is Detroit Borg with a quick review of the Apple Magic Trackpad. Thanks for watching.